So hello and welcome to Limitless You Talk with me, Katie. And it's just over 2 weeks since you and me have just had a conversation. And I think we can all safely say that the latter part of the year, the time where we come into Christmas, to festivities, to the last part of our year, can sometimes be quite busy, quite crazy busy, quite hectic. So yeah, it's been a little while since I last had the chance to do this. So please forgive me in the first instance. And why am I releasing this episode on the last Sunday before 2024 finishes and before we enter a brand new year of 2025? Main reason is because I thought this was a nice place to come back after, highlighting the value of our own relationship. So it's been quite sort of kind of the way that I've done it. I can't think of the word off the top of my head right this second. But it was done in the way where we could, finish up sort of the year of talking about our own relationship with ourselves, who we are, who we mean to ourselves, how important we are to ourselves and everything that we do in our own lives, to now coming in just before the year ends and a new one begins. And it's all about reviewing. It's all about reflecting. It's all about recovering. And it's all about being ready. So it's the 4 R's: reviewing, reflecting, recovering, and your readiness. That is the 4 R's framework that I use in my coaching and how I teach and how I want people to learn. And it's not just about, doing it at the end of every year to the begin a new year. That is not what it is. But I thought it was a good time to share this framework with you. So let's go through it stage by stage in the way that I do it as we reflect on the year that has been 2024 and the readiness for the new year, which is going to be 2025. So the first part of this is all about reviewing. It's all about asking yourself some nice, easy, simple questions of what has gone well for me this year? What hasn't gone well for me this year? What challenges has there been this year? How have I been this year? What's everything that has gone on in my life this year, both personally and professionally? Those are the types of questions that you at this point should be asking yourself, should be noting down, should be journaling, should be maybe talking to someone else about. It's something that I have journaled. It's something that I have reflected on. It's something that I'm recovering from, reflecting and reviewing on, in order for me to be fully ready for what my 2025 is going to look like. So let's go through all those sort of questions. Like, what has gone well for you this year? What can you honestly say right now that off the top of your head you're like, yeah, that went really well for me? So like something for me this year is like, I completed a half marathon when I shouldn't have done it, when I was injured. It was the most mentalist battle. I don't even know if mentalist is the word, but it was the most demanding mental battle in my head that I have gone through in quite some time. And I was like, whoa. And the tears were flowing, the emotions, everything. But I'd done that. I actually done that. So for me to review on that situation, I then had to reflect. I reflected on the fact that I cried. I reflected on the fact that I kept going even though I didn't want to. And that was only after 1K of running in, after going up a big, massive hill. It was the fact that I knew I had worked so damn hard to even just do it. And I had to treat it like the victory lap that I'd heard in a quote and in a podcast previously. That crossing that line, I had my parents and my best friend there that have been through the lows with me, that I can talk about the lows with and I can communicate. And I was able to recover with pizza. Yes, with a margherita pizza and chips, and I bloody well enjoyed it. And why has that got me ready for 2025? Because I've got a half marathon in April. I was supposed to have a marathon at the beginning of April, but just due to many, many other factors of opportunities, when I sat down and planned out what I was going to be, do, wanted, challenged-wise for my 2025, the marathon just had to be put on the back burner as it stands, as I go through my 4R process right now. where I'm either looking at it for the second part of my 2025 or I'm looking at it for 2026. So I'm not saying I'm never going to do it. I just have to prioritise in all the areas of my life. So I'm going to do 2 half marathons in the first half of 2025, one in April, one in June. I'm going to do a 10K at the beginning of February to get a bit quicker, to be quicker. That's what I want to do, to be quicker, to be more efficient, to complete this vision of me becoming a runner. I'm going to complete a charity bike cycle from Glasgow to Edinburgh, which is 50 fun miles. Might be fun, might not be. 51 miles in order of the charity through our trade association, SAFE, Society Allied of Independent Funeral Directors. So yeah, there's a lot happening in my first half of 2025, and I'm going to America to spend time with the American family on my own for 2 weeks. Without a parent going, they're staying at home, just me. I'm going to stay with them for 2 weeks and just embrace new baby, current baby that's already here. So there's a lot happening for me. I'm tired thinking about it. So I've had to go through my process of reviewing my year, reflecting on certain situations, recovering from reviewing and reflecting it, because it's a lot to take in, a lot to process, and a lot to digest, and a lot to kind of take little bits from, to be ready for what I'm about to face in my 2025. So by me giving you my example of what I've had to do in my own framework, I use that own process quite a lot, that you should be able to form what's went well for you. So something that's not gone well for me this year, I would say, would be my relationship with my nutrition. I really, really thought that in 2024 I would have hit the nail on the head of really mastering my nutrition. I haven't. I've invested in a meal prep company to do that for me. And it's probably not a big one, but for me, I'm a bit gutted because a few years ago I was in a bad place where I didn't eat at all. So for me to really enjoy the way that I eat, to enjoy balanced food, to enjoy cooking, it just still wasn't enough. And yes, I could have taken on that responsibility and gone, right, I'm really going to knuckle down and make the commitment to do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the priority for it. I don't have the patience for it. And for me, it's not something that, when I say it's not a priority and I don't have time, I don't have a priority. It's not a priority to me to make that time. When there's something out there that could fit into my world, to my day-to-day, that could make it easier for me. So yeah, I get meal prep every single week. And when I reviewed it, I was like, right, okay, these are the pros for it. These are the cons for it. And it actually worked out that it allows me not to think about my nutrition. It allows me not to think back of the person who I was, because I don't want to use that story of who I was in the present of what I'm doing, what I'm going through, what I'm working on right now, or to really have an influence on my future. So I've done something for me that, okay, maybe some of you listening to this or whatever, like, oh my God, you get meal prep, you must have lots of money, stuff like that. Right, okay, whatever. That is your opinion. I'm not going to go into that. That's a different type of story and scenario to talk about. But for me, it makes complete sense. It means I'm getting enough of everything I need to have. I'm having really good food. It actually financially does work out as much as it would for me to go to the shop to buy all my shopping, because I eat for 2 people most days and I live myself. Come on. That's just the way that my training and my body, my metabolism is just a little bit higher in that sort of sense. And just to ensure that I'm eating a bit of absolutely everything, yeah, I can do that. Some days I'm a two-job Katie. Some days I'm a funeral director, and then I come straight in and I'm a coach. Some days I'm a coach in the morning, or I'm Katie who trains, then I'm a daughter, then I'm a funeral director. So it just, what's the point? And that's what I mean by my time factor. I was like, I'm reflecting on this weirdly. Like, has it actually made a difference to my training? Yes. Have I got personal bests in the gym? Yes. Did it make sense when I was leading up to my half marathons and different things? Absolutely. So I'm ready in 2025 to be like, do you know what? My nutrition is nailed in this way for me because it's my journey, my responsibility to myself. And yeah, I'm taking the cop out because I'm not going to sit and cook every Sunday meal prep. I'm just going to buy it. So it's just been like turning that little niggle in my head of I really thought I was going to nail my nutrition this year to actually it's turned out a better scenario, a better situation, a better positive experience. And I've actually learned more about food, more about what's in food, more about what food means, what I need, what my IBS needs, what my digestive system needs. And it's like, wow, it's opened so many more doors, so much more understanding and better education. And that's what the 4 hours comes down to. So that's something that didn't go so well for me. Something that sort of stayed the same. Something that stayed the same. I'd probably say something that stayed the same is my like for reality TV, the Real Housewives franchises, for example. Something that my coach always used to say to me, like, Katie, you need to like not wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, shove an episode of the Real Housewives on. He's like, do you really need to do that? And I'm like, yeah, that's how I want to start my day. And I did for a little while, I'll admit that. No shame in it. Don't do that now, obviously, as much as I would like to. Compromise is what I've got my bike sessions. You know, if you're 50 minutes on a bike, that is at least one in a little part of the next episode of Real Housewives. But just saying, so that's something that stayed the same. It's something I like. It's a bit of shitty TV. And it's something that brings me, whether it brings me joy, actually, I've realised that some of the things in that I have learned and been able to use in certain quizzes or situations. So, you know, those people that knock it, including my own father, just point made. So yeah, that's something that stayed exactly the same as I've watched my Housewives. Listen, you think it's shitty TV and I don't. Who cares? That's something that stayed the same. And although I laugh about it and things like that, it's just like a little thing in the amount of things that have happened in my year. But never be and the reason why I've shared that one, I think, is because never be afraid if it's something like that. Something like, oh, that's so sad. How can you not think of something that stayed the same that means more to you? Like, because your weight stayed the same. Blah, blah, blah. That's just something for me that brings me a bit of joy, bringing me a bit of happiness. I get to sit and do, I get to enjoy a cup of tea, I get to enjoy an episode of my bed before I go to sleep. So that's my thing. Leave me alone. That is my thing, you know. So find that something that stayed the same and be like, yeah, I'm reviewing, reflecting that. And I'm ready for the new Housewife episode in 2025. You bet you arse I am buzzing for that. But there you go. That's how I'm using my framework to show you, to highlight to you, to get you to think, to get you to go through this thought process, to bring in your mind, to bring in the mind you're setting and your mind setting and exploring it. Whether you write it down, whether you're saying it out loud, saying it back to me right now, whether you're saying it to a partner, to a friend, to a family member, whatever. And then we move on to what 2025 is going to bring. So I've named some of the things that are going to be for me in 2025. I want to be better. I want to be better than I am right now. I told my coach today that I don't recognise the person that I was 12 months ago compared to the person that I am right now. And that's because I've committed to everything that I've done. I've been so much more consistent. I've put myself in uncomfortable situations. I'll give you an example. I don't like being sociable. I hate being sociable. I hate being a sociable person. My job is sociable. Every job I have is quite sociable to talk to people. But I don't like going out. I like going out for dinners and stuff like that, but I know I'm coming home. I know I'm not going out partying and stuff like that. I've done all that and I don't want to do that. It's not me. So I won't go. But I've put myself in uncomfortable situations. I've socialised so much more than I ever have. It's actually allowed me to progress and realise that I can do it. That it's not as scary. I don't need to be anxious about it. I don't need to be stubborn about it. I don't need to be a bit of a grumpy bitch about it. It's a part of life and I'm going to have to do it. So just accept it and move on. I'm aware I don't like it, but actually it turns out to be okay. Fine. So I know that being in those uncomfortable situations, doing those uncomfortable things actually helps your progress in your journey. Keep going. Move forward. Brilliant. That is what it's all about. So I'm going to continue to do that. And I know that I'm going to be better in 2025. I already set out like everything that I want to achieve. And that's personally and professionally. I know that the growth that has happened in me, the leveling up, the things that I said that I maybe wanted to do that I haven't done, think, okay, we'll try again in 2025. And to be honest, some of the things I'm not going to share are quite ambitious. And they're just planting the seeds for things that I probably will eventually decide on when I look properly to the second half of the year. So this, it's like the world is your oyster, that saying. And there's, the sky, there's no limit in the sky, or sky is limit, or something like, whatever the expression is. I think the point I'm trying to make is there is no limitation to what you can do. This podcast is called Limitless You Talk. Because being limitless is having no boundary, no limitation on what you can do, what you can achieve. And what if you review, reflect, recover in your readiness for going forward, you can bloody well do. And that is what it's all about. I need to stop hitting this table when I'm getting passionate talking. That's twice I've done that now. But you get the point. You get it. I don't need to keep repeating myself on it. And I just wanted to make sure that we are in a point ending one year, heading into another, that we really have taken the time to look at everything that we've done. I mean, some people can't remember what they had for breakfast today, and that's fine. But there's a lot of things that you can remember. You need to review those things that you can remember. You need to reflect. When you dissect them, was the word I was looking for earlier on, that's now came back to me. But when you dissect it, you can find little snippets of gold, little snippets of positivity, of happiness, of fulfillment. All of these positive things, right? We'll just call it generally, all these positive things. But then when you recover from reviewing and reflecting, because it's quite stimulating, it is quite tiring to do that, that when you're ready for that next step to go forward, you're going to bloody well do it. If you're someone that this year has lost a stone, we all know the weight thing, losing weight and everything. If you're someone that's lost a stone this year, and you've gone through the festive period, you've maybe put on a couple of pounds and things like that, there's two options for your readiness section, right? You've reviewed it, I've put on £5. You're reflecting on it, maybe I shouldn't have eaten the extra pigs and blanket or the extra chocolate, or maybe I should have missed out on that course, not, had 2 courses instead of the 3 courses 2 days in a row. That's fine. Recover from that. How are you going to recover from that? Easy. You accept that it happened. You're aware that you enjoyed yourself. You give acknowledgement to the fact that you've enjoyed eating everything done and you've enjoyed those £5 extra. Your readiness is you put that £5 extra, all that extra food, to your advantage, because it's fuel. It's fuel to your fire, it's fuel to the car, it's fuel to your body, it's fuel to your mind, it's fuel to your life. And you're going to lose that £5 and more. By the end of the following year, in 12 months' time, your readiness when you started the next part going forward could be another stone, 2 stone, 3 stone, who knows? It could be anything. And that is the whole point of it. So think of the framework. You want to review everything that's gone on in this year that's been, no matter if it's good, bad, the same, different. You want to reflect on it. You want to dissect what you're reviewing. Pick out the little snippets. Really think about it. Get your thought-provoking thoughts within it. Make notes about it. Then you need to recover from what you've just reviewed and reflected, because I guarantee it'll ping, ping, light bulb moments going off everywhere, in every direction. There'll be a little buzz in your head. And by doing that, you're ready for what the next year has in store. You're ready now. You are so ready right now. You do not need to wait till the 1st of January for that to be the case. You are ready now. And some of us missed the point with that. And that's why I'm saying it so proudly, so loudly, so passionately, so confidently, because I've realised creating this framework allows you to, sort of like if you imagine like going up a mountain and your readiness, you know how you can look down and see the drop at that cliff at the top of the mountain? But there's 2 choices at the top of it. Either kind of fall down it, you're not going to die or anything like that, but you kind of fall down it. But you can still see in front of you. And I'm like, I can jump. I can actually get to that next mountain. It's my readiness mountain that will take me up my next level. I don't need to go down there. I've been down there so many times. I think I've got a permanent parking space with a permanent house probably. But I know what it's like to go forward. And there's a bridge there. If you think about all these magical bridges and pictures and things that you see all over the world, and it's like between two mountaintops, if you like, and you can go this bridge, and I'm like, oh my god, this bridge. But you can walk over it. You see it in YouTube videos, you see it in TikToks. You can see them walking across it. It's exactly the same with the 4-hour process. And the 4-hour process works. Don't just think, oh, it's something I need to do in December, because Katie said, for January, for the New Year, New Me thing. That is also rubbish, but I'll discuss that in New Year, New Me. I've just hit the table again, but I'll discuss next point. Because it's all about now. You have to be present. You have to review what's already been in order to help you who you are right now, who you want to be right now, what you're reflecting, what you're reviewing, what you're recovering from for your readiness, to then take the next step. I don't really want to repeat the New Year, New Me thing. And the reason why I say it like that is because I think that analogy is a lot of shite. Yes, I've gone all Scottish on you, but it's a lot of shite. But in next week, I'm going to A, explain why, and B, really, really help us, not just from that readiness that we now have, that we are now gaining kind of clarity on, a bit more clearer on, is because that readiness is what our vision is, what our mission is, what our values are, what our goals are, what our habits and behaviours are going to be to get us there. So at the end of 2025, you can do the 4R framework once again, and you can take the bridge across to the next one and not go for a permanent parking space next to me at the bottom. Because I've had it for so many years in a row that I'm kind of renting out the last few years. Do want to sell it. Again, my mindset is just going that if I know it's there, it's fine. I'm flexible. If I go down, I know I can climb back up again. But I'm just aware it's there because that's a reminder of where I've been. It's not my story right now because my present is so much better and I'm still much further forward than I ever was. But I can cross the bridge now and I can look down at where I was, what I was, everything in my life at that time and be like, yeah, okay, you're down there. I'm renting you out right now because somebody's in the position where I was and I know that they're going to get out of it. So again, it's like someone not feeling alone. You're not alone in it. But honestly, take a few moments, whether it be right now, whether it be later on, whether it be in the next couple of days, but before the new year starts, the 4R framework. Review it. Reflect about it. Recover all from it. And create your readiness to take you into the next new year. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this. It's the last one of 2024. What a year. I can't thank you all enough for giving my podcast and watching my videos the time of day. So I thought it was a nice way to end it, to say a massive, massive thank you. Please rate the podcast, review the podcast, whatever you want to do. Follow me on Instagram, Limitless You Talk Katie Stevenson PT on Facebook. Please like and subscribe on Spotify, Limitless You Talk by Katie podcast, and on YouTube as well. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, put them through this, honestly. Might make them a better person. Tell grannies, tell everybody. The amount of older people that are better than us, younger folk at technology is phenomenal, so they might already be listening. If you are, maybe give Fiona a bit of a nudge in her coming 2025 age. Better not say that as yet. But yeah, thank you so much. And I'm buzzing for what 2025 has in store for us as a podcast. The great conversations that are already coming, the conversations that we get to share together. And I am buzzing to come back in 2025 and have you ready with your vision, your mission, your goals, your behaviours and your habits, because it is going to have your readiness and you're going to go, go, go. So I'm absolutely excited. But until next year, which is in only a few days' time, have a happy new year. If you're in Scotland, you might be going New Year's Eve doing the Hogmanay thing for Auld Lang Syne. You might not. I usually sleep through it. 10 o'clock is my bedtime. But yeah, whatever you're doing, I will see you, speak to you, and share some more great conversations in 2025.